I'm more and more amazed with the protocol and the things that are unfolding actually. In 2 cases, I had to go for 2 sessions actually because it was difficult. Well, the 2 sessions that I had to do longer where I was trying to do work with a mirror, actually, where I identified that the self, in both cases, were the self-guidance who had to be addressed. And I found very difficult for people to take the responsibility of what they are going through. But when it happens, it's like super releasing for them.
That's a good point. So what you bring up is that until someone is ready to take responsibility, it takes some preparation. It's hard to come and say to people, can you see how you're making this whole thing happen? It's not gonna be received well. Okay. And also, it's simplistic to say it this way because we are not the only parameter in the story. Okay, sometimes the story is bigger than us, but still, the fact that we are part of the story, okay, somehow there is still a, we want to own that part of the story in order to bring people to that place. It's a work that needs to be done with a lot of subtlety. And with you, I do it this way because you've been working a lot already. You've done level 1 and level 2 and level 3, so there were a lot of preparation, a lot of introduction. The week where we actually started to teach about the mirror, you worked almost 6 weeks before. And within these 6 weeks, there were some part about taking responsibility for your journey. So if someone comes to you and haven't done this pre-work before, you want to be very gentle, in the way you bring this, because it's not something that can happen if it's not brought with a lot of softness and compassion and patience. So when you do the exercise of the mirror, and the best thing I think is to ask the person to just repeat without even telling why they're repeating in the first place. And when they're that is meant to facilitate the work that we need to do, or the life lessons that we want to experiment. And how is this specific setting facilitating this? If we don't have the right hypothesis in the origin, we can automatically conclude that, oh my God, I got into this family because there is something wrong with me. If we go from the hypothesis that I'm in this family because it's to facilitate something amazing, I don't know what it is, because for now it doesn't look amazing at all, then I am led to make different conclusions. I'll give you an example. Today, I was in Cyprus at the airport. the airline, catastrophic airline. They make me open my suitcase, go again for nothing because I was not supposed to pay for extra weight or anything, considering the price that I already paid the ticket. But she made a lot of mistakes. She was completely unprofessional. And me, instead of going with, yes, whatever happens, I choose to see it in a way that I know that the universe is supporting me. Instead of going this way, I went like, what's wrong with this girl, you know? Like, I don't understand. I never saw that in my life. That's the first time I see an airline charging for checking. Super mad. And after all this story sorted out, and I already was passing security, and the suitcase were already gone, I realized that I left my 2 external hard disks in the suitcase, which all my life is inside.
Mm.
And then I realized, I said, Shelva, she made you open the suitcase so you could find them and you could take them out and you can take them with you in your bag, in your hand luggage. But because you were sure that this is an annoyance and there is, something is wrong, so I did not even see that my hard disk was there. I was like so nervous, opening, closing, opening, closing. She made me open and close 3 times, and I didn't see it. And after I realized, I said, "Oh my God, they wanted me to see it. They wanted to help me." So just to tell you that the hypothesis that we are holding when a story is happening is changing the whole outcome of how things are. In the end, thanks God, the suitcase arrived. I landed in Athens now, but I have no idea if they are alive, if they are full or whole, or if they are broken, because I saw them like throwing away the suitcase like garbage. But what I want to say here is that it is worth it to give a little bit of introduction to the people who come see you and explain a little bit before doing the exercise of the mirror. Some hint about, the type of work that we are doing, and what is the point of view that we are using before starting this work. And the point of view that we are using is everything in my life setting is here to facilitate what I chose to come here to experiment, including if it's something difficult. Okay, some people, for example, they're going to choose difficulties over and over and over just to prove themselves that they are ever able to overcome the challenges. So this is something that people are choosing, even if it's unconsciously, they are choosing. There are things that we don't choose, like the family or the environment and this, but still, if it's there, we start from the hypothesis that everything is there to facilitate. This is something that I really saw over and over and over again with all the past lives, the regression that I've done. So it's not, for me, it's not just a theory. This is something I've seen again and again and again and again. So of course, people don't have to believe you necessarily, but a little introduction is helping the person to because we have to be careful. So we don't want to come from from that oh my God, like if I have to take responsibility, it means that I'm guilty of everything that's happening, everything wrong that's happening. Understand? And this, you're going to get a rejection automatically, or you're going to get disempowerment. Okay.
Wait,
And
can
this,
you stay there a minute? Because that's a really important sort of delicate line of guilt. You know, can we expand on that a little bit? Because I can say for myself, like, you know,
yeah, because
I took this too.
if you just come from the, you know, like for example, people who teach the law of attraction,
Mm,
okay, like in self-development, the law of attraction, everything, you create your reality, blah, blah, blah. At some point it can become very overwhelming for people, because if they do everything they can and still things go not in the direction that they want to go, they start feel not just overwhelmed, but they become completely disempowered. Because what does it mean? It means that no matter what I do, I fail, and it seems that I am completely unable to do this. And not only that, but I'm guilty of what's happening. Of what's happening to me, you know. And in the end, you get the opposite effect. Um, and it's also because I believe that we get this opposite effect when we forget the big picture. And the big picture is that you're not the only one creating reality. You're part of it. Okay? But there is also other parameters, and also a part that your higher self is choosing.
right.
And for example, the higher self can choose to go, yeah, I don't know, to become an orphan very, very early in life, or to have a very difficult mother, to be able to overcome the challenge of maturing the self-nurturing, or a very difficult father. Perhaps this soul has gone already through many lifetimes and had this challenge over and over again. And now the new choice, the new option is to have a very destructive father. So there are many things that we don't necessarily remember. Okay. And when we try to make sense out of things that don't necessarily have sense, because the problem is not coming from my inability to manifest things, but perhaps for my lack of acceptance that this is a path that my higher self has chosen to lead me to a higher level of understanding. And the moment I am in a place of acceptance, then I get there very quickly. So the law of attraction, I mean, we have to be very, it exists. But in the way it is taught, I don't fully align with the way it is marketed today,
Mhm.
because it's incomplete, and it's you cannot speak about that if you don't speak about many, many, many other things.